I bought it. I'm still a big liberal in so many ways, and everybody I knew was like, oh, and besides Trump, it was just he's so, for all the reasons that progressives bought that the laptop was fake. I bought that it was fake. So then when you realize that it was real and that everything in that New York Post story on October 14th, 2020 was accurate, I started seeing stuff in the emails. The thing that really freaked me out was this thing that Aspen Institute, it's called a tabletop exercise, and it was actually a Zoom call to role play how to deal with a Russian hack and leak around Hunter Biden. This is like in June of 2020. So this is like months before months before Rudy Giuliani gets the laptop, before Rudy Giuliani gives the laptop to New York Post. Why in the hell is Aspen Institute holding a tabletop exercise to pre-bunk? Basically, they are training or brainwashing all these journalists. And I mean, it's CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, Wikimedia Foundation, the Wikipedia folks, the networks, all of the social media companies, all coming together to be like, okay, well, if something is leaked, then we should not cover it in the way that journalists have traditionally covered it. Meanwhile, Stanford University, a few months earlier, had put out a report saying reporters should no longer follow the Pentagon Papers principle. Well, the Pentagon Papers, of course, is this famous episode. It was Steven Spielberg made a whole movie about it, where the Washington Post and New York Times published these internal Pentagon documents showing that the U.S. government was losing the war in Vietnam, right? This is Daniel Ellsberg, and he just releases it. He steals these documents. He breaks the law, steals these documents, gives them to the newspapers. The newspapers publish them. It's this kind of incredible moment in American journalism where we are like, the First Amendment gives these newspapers the right to publish hacked, so-called hacked, but leaked information. And here you have Stanford University, Aspen Institute saying, oh, no. That's all. We should stop doing that. Journalists should no longer write about leaked information in that way. Instead, we should focus on the person who leaked it. So it really sent chills up my spine. It was the creepiest thing I'd ever seen. And this is, of course, you got to remember, Aspen Institute is funded by the U.S. government.
Yeah.
Stanford's funded by the U.S. government. So this is, people go, oh, well, you're just, one of the responses we've got is they go, oh, you're just talking about, content moderation by private companies. No, we're talking about U.S. government-funded organizations. You can't, if the U.S. government is censoring information, that's obviously a violation of the First Amendment. But if the U.S. government is funding somebody else to censor information, that's also a violation of the First Amendment.